Okay, for social studies today, we're pausing with our Minnesota history, and we're doing something a little different, something that you do every year. We are going to talk about school bus safety. So it is that time of the year, beginning of the year, we always have to talk about our bus safety. So, so here's the thing about bus safety. I have taught for 19 years, and it doesn't matter what grade I'm in, kindergarten, first grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, we always learn the same thing, because safety is safety. So what we learned, what I've been teaching for 19 years is what we are still learning. So you guys have heard this for 6 years already.
Yeah.
You got it in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Why do you think we go over it every year? Will?
Because no matter how many might forget it.
Okay, because you might have forgotten. Why else might we cover it every year, Paisley? Shh. Go ahead, Paisley. So some people don't always listen to it, so they need it repeated. Sometimes we need to have things repeated for it to sink in. Zoe? Sometimes there's new kids, maybe kids who might have been homeschooled and they didn't have this before. Joseph?
Maybe because we said we go on a bus on field trips.
Everybody rides the bus on field trips. So whether or not you ride the bus to and from school, we ride it on field trips. So everybody needs to know bus safety. Maddie?
Sometimes over the summer you can forget the intensity of what's happening.
Yeah, there's an intensity to it. Bus safety is important. It is important for us to know how to behave, and it is so important we cover it every single year. So that way, if we don't remember it, if we need to hear things multiple times for it to sink in, we are getting the information. Nick?
Sometimes we may have added a new thing on the bus that you need to know about.
Okay. And we actually are going to talk about something a little bit new today than from what I've taught in the last 19 years. Anthony.
It's just like some people that don't know what they're doing wrong.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't remember that it's something they shouldn't be doing. Izzy?
Some people might be used to riding in a car with different children.
Yeah. Especially in the fall, we're used to riding in the car with mom and dad, and we forget what it's like to ride on the bus. So these are the things that the state of Minnesota wants us to know. Number one, transportation by school bus is a privilege, not a right. What does it mean to be a privilege? Zoe?
It can get taken away.
It can get taken away. It's not something that you automatically get. Do we need to have food to eat? Yeah, that's a right. We should all have food to eat. Do we have to ride the bus to school? No. If you are not behaving, you can get kicked off the bus. How are you going to get to school then? You have to come to school. How would you get to school, Joseph?
Have your parents take you?
A lot of times we don't live close to school. I heard somebody say ride your bike. If you live close to school, you might walk or ride your bike. But if you don't live close, or it's raining out, or it's a heavy snow, and mom and dad don't want you walking or riding your bike, and that they're going to have to drive you. Is that something that moms and dads want to do if it's not something that they've planned on? No. Okay, you might have a little brother or sister at home who needs to sleep in. You might have a parent who works from home or is going to work. They put you on the bus and they go to work, either at home or at their place of business. And they don't have time to drive you to school. So do you think mom and dad will avoid some consequences at home if you get kicked off the bus?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's important that you are listening to our bus safety so you don't get kicked off the bus. Number two, policies for student conduct and school bus safety. So let's talk about what kind of conduct we should have when we're riding the bus. What are some things you know? How should you behave? Your conduct is your behavior. So what behavior should you have on the bus? And that's actually going to tie in with all of these. So when we talk about conduct on the bus, it ties into 3 and 4. Yeah, they all tie in together under it. So it's actually, these are sub things underneath it. So let's look at number 3. Let's talk specifically while we are on the bus. What is our conduct, our behavior supposed to be like on the bus? Paisley.
Sitting down in your seat and not doing anything that distracts the driver.
Okay, so she said 2 things. The first one was sitting on your seat. Okay, you don't want to be standing, you don't want to be kneeling, you don't want to be kind of goofing around. Why is it important that you're sitting? Katie?
So that if the bus driver bumps into something, you don't get hurt and you don't want to distract the bus driver either because then you will get hurt.
Okay, so Katie says, and I'm going to repeat our answers to make sure our video gets our voices. So Katie said that if the bus driver bumps into something, which hopefully doesn't happen, but it could, and you're standing and he bumps, the bus jerks and you're going to fall. And there's a good chance you're going to get hurt as you're falling on the bus. Both Paisley and Katie said, don't distract the driver. So Paisley said, stay sitting and don't distract. Katie said, don't be standing up because that is distracting. So as the bus driver is driving down the road, they have a big mirror that they can see everything happening behind them. It's just like me being a teacher. I'm up here teaching, and if I see somebody goofing around, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, stuff like that, doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, it distracts me. And it makes me stop and look at you instead of what I'm teaching. So if the driver's driving and he sees stuff going on in the mirror and his eyes go up to the mirror, they're not on the road anymore. And that's the important thing. We want the driver to always be focused on the road and what's happening as they're driving. We don't want to distract them. So if you're standing up in the back of the bus, they're going to see that in the mirror. Even though you're behind them, they see it in that mirror, and it's going to distract them. Izzy.
The bus doesn't have seatbelts, so you want to not be behind.
Yeah, the bus doesn't have seatbelts. In your car, cars are much smaller, so they have seatbelts, and it's safety. You have to wear that seatbelt. The bus doesn't have the seatbelt because it has the big seat right in front of it that's supposed to protect you if the bus does get in an accident. So it's important that you're sitting so the seat in front of you can protect you in case of an accident. What is another behavior that we need to be mindful of on the bus? Maddie.
Keeping your bags, lunches, water in your spot, not in the aisle.
Yeah, you shouldn't have stuff in the aisle. That is the walkway. And as the bus is driving and the bus stops, if you have something in there like a water bottle, it's going to roll back. It's distracting and you can lose your stuff. So you keep it in your seat, keep it with you so people don't step on it when they're trying to get off the bus. They don't trip on it as they're trying to get off the bus. It doesn't roll somewhere else on the bus. Okay, keep it with you. Caitlin.
Don't run in the aisle.
Don't run. So when you're getting on the bus and you're getting off the bus, you need to walk. It's really easy to trip on things, and there are hard things on the bus. And if you trip and fall, you can hit your head, you can crack your head open and bleed, you can get a concussion. We want to be safe and no injuries. So no running, getting on or getting off when you're walking in that aisle. Izzy.
You don't want to get up before the bus stops.
Yeah, you don't want to stand up before you see your house is coming up. There's your bus stop. Don't prepare ahead of time and stand up and start packing up because the bus is going to stop. And sometimes when the bus stops, there's that little bit of that jerk and you could fall. Finn, is your hand up? Okay. Katie?
You also want to not distract like other people on the bus as well, because it's just not very.
Yeah, you want to be polite to the people around you. So you don't want to be obnoxious, you don't want to be distracting them. Kira?
There was like a funny thing that happened once with two kids that were standing on top of each other, and I knew that there was a bump coming because I didn't figure out perfectly. And when they hit the bump, when the first kid fell backwards, the bus was like stopped so suddenly. He fell backwards, and the other one fell forwards and hit him. It was so funny to me because I don't know how they didn't know the bump was coming because I did.
Yeah, because they weren't paying attention. It happens. And hopefully they didn't get hurt. Hopefully you weren't laughing at somebody who got hurt. Hopefully they were okay. Okay. Tristan?
You wouldn't want to distract the other kids on the bus because sometimes that makes them a distraction to the driver. You think about doing things that.
Yeah, you want to be a good role model.
Right.
Always be the good role model. Lily?
Don't be loud.
Don't be loud. So when we're in the classroom and we're working, I remind us, use your two voice. Let us whisper. We don't have to whisper on the bus, but we shouldn't be louder than a two. You're talking to the people that are right around you. If you start talking really loud and you're using that recess voice, that 4, or goodness, you might shout, that 5, that is very distracting to the driver. It gets too loud. If you're in the car and mom or dad is driving, do they want you talking really loud? No. I know with my own kids, if I'm driving and they start yelling at each other, it distracts me. There have been times I've had to pull over and say, you guys need to calm down. I have 3 kids very close in age. Sometimes when they were little, they would yell at each other. It happens. And it was my job as a parent to teach them how to get along. Thankfully, now that they're teenagers, I don't have that problem anymore. But we need to be mindful of the driver and not distract them. Anthony?
Not laying down.
Yeah, don't lay down. If you lay down in the seat, it's just you in the seat and you lay down, you could fall asleep and miss your bus stop. If the bus stops quickly, you could fall onto the floor. Okay? It's a safety thing. 1, you don't want to miss your bus stop. 2, you don't want to accidentally fall on the floor. Kira?
I've made this mistake already. I rolled off and I'm like, why?
Yes. Yep. Gregory?
That's ridiculous.
And you also don't want to distract other people because then they're going to miss their stop.
Yeah. You don't want to distract others to miss their stop. Katie?
Yeah, I do know that when my older sister was actually, when she was younger, she actually did fall asleep. She wasn't laying down though. And so one of the older kids had to walk her to her house.
Okay. That was good that there's somebody there to take care of her. Izzy?
You don't want to jump.
Yeah, you don't switch from seat to seat. Once you're in your seat, you stay there. Okay? That moving back and forth is distracting in the mirror. And it's a safety concern if the bus has to stop suddenly. If the bus is turning, you could get hurt. All right, danger zones. Who knows what a danger zone is surrounding a school bus? Nick?
Within like 10 or 13 feet of a bus.
10 feet.
10 feet, you can't, the bus driver can't see you.
So think about how long the bus is. If you are within 10 feet, that bus driver doesn't know you're there. So it is very important that you do not go up. You can touch the bus. You are way too close to the bus. We always want the bus driver to know we are there. So if they start driving, we don't get hurt. So if you are lined up at your bus stop, you should be in a single file line when that bus comes up. And so when that door opens, that first person is right where the door is. And you get on the bus and the bus driver knows exactly where everyone is. If the bus starts driving and you're in the danger zone, there is a good chance that the bus could hit you. Who is going to win in a bus versus a child? What is more important to your parents? You or your lunchbox? Friends, you are the most important thing. Okay? If something falls down by the bus, you do not go run to pick it up. You get your bus driver's eyes, you say, I dropped something, and the bus driver will tell you if you can go get it. If the bus driver's already closed the doors and you can't get his attention, you step back, the bus will go, and if it rides over your lunchbox or whatever it is you dropped, so be it, you're safe. You made it home. Eyes up. Zoe says, excuse me. Zoe says, what if it's your phone? I mean, a lunchbox is $10. A phone is hundreds of dollars. So what should you do? What's more important, you or your phone? So if you're saying phone, you would seriously rather die than get a new phone. Like, I'm being serious now. I am not joking at the moment, so I need you to be serious. It's easy for us to say, oh my goodness, my phone is so important to me. I guarantee your parents would much rather have you at the dinner table than your phone. So even if you drop your phone, you let it be. So, friends, we have a lot to get through, so let's stay focused. Friends, let's stay focused. Remember, I'm recording this, and all of these conversations are coming up on the recording. Respect. So that danger zone is incredibly important. You need to make sure you stay out of the danger zone as it surrounds that school bus. Finn.
You know what else you can do? You can hope and pray that when the bus rolls over it, it doesn't break.
The tires might not hit whatever it is that falls by the bus. And then you just pick it up after the bus leaves. Izzy.
You wouldn't even be able to go on your phone into your bed.
Correct. You would be able to use that phone that you were trying to save if the bus hits you. Okay. Procedures for safely boarding and leaving a school bus. The bus is coming. We're all excited to get to school to see Mrs. Gambino because she's so amazing and we don't want to miss class. And so we want to get onto that bus. How should we get on the bus to make sure we're getting on safely? Owen, tell us one voice so we can get this on the recording. How should we get on the bus?
One at a time.
One at a time. Remember I said when you are at your bus stop, you should be in a single file line. You get on the bus one at a time. There is a handrail because those steps are big. And if it is a rainy or snowy day, it might be wet and slippery. Use the handrail as you are going up those steps. When you're getting off the bus, sometimes there are multiple people getting off at the same stop. You get off one at a time. You don't push and shove to be the first one off because you missed your mom and want to see your mom right away. Mama's love. Don't push and shove. Single file. Caitlin.
You should walk.
Walking, no running. I know you're excited to see me. You get to school and you're running off that bus to see me and say good morning to me. Walk. Maddie.
What if you're walking on a snowy day and you go to step on that step and you fall and you can't.
Then the person behind you, the person in front of you will probably help you step up if you slip. The bus driver can help you up. And the bus drivers usually have a first aid kit if you need a band-aid.
So the bus driver won't.
Oh, I can't hear Maddie. Respect friends. Say it again, Maddie.
The bus driver won't.
No, the bus driver will make sure that, just like a teacher, the bus driver's first priority is your safety. So they are in charge of you, so they want to make sure you are safe. They are not, you slip and fall, they're not just gonna be like, sorry, kid, take care of yourself. They're gonna help you. Okay, we need to move on. Procedures for safe street or road crossing. So you get off the bus, or the bus is coming. What should you wait for? Katie?
Just make sure that there's no cars coming and that you don't, and that you make sure that you're not in the, and you make sure that you're not in the way of the bus.
Yeah. So one, you want to make sure you're on the side, so you're not in the street where the bus is coming. Two, if you have to cross that street, you make sure that bus has a stop sign that it puts out, and all cars are supposed to stop for that stop sign. Does that mean that every single car will always stop and you can depend on that? Unfortunately, no. There are distracted drivers who may not be paying attention. So it is your job as a pedestrian crossing a street to look both ways and make sure that any cars have stopped so you are safe. That bus driver is going to be waiting for you with the stop sign out, but you need to double check. You are old enough, you should be double checking, making sure that all cars have stopped. Because unfortunately, there are distracted drivers. You should also make sure if you have to cross in front of the bus, that you make eye contact with the bus driver. Watch out for that danger zone. Don't cross in front of the bus where you can touch the front of the bus because the bus driver won't see you. He is too high up and he won't see you down there. So make sure you cross far enough in front of the bus that, listen, if you see the driver's eyes, he sees yours. Okay? You need to be able to see the eyes and make sure that he knows that you are crossing in front of the bus. So make that eye contact so he sees you. Bus evacuation, our last one. Bus evacuation. If our bus, for whatever reason, breaks down, gets in an accident, and we need to get off, where are some ways that we could get off of the bus? Katie?
There's usually a window there in the back of the bus, and of course the front.
So there's the front of the bus. If the bus driver says, calmly get off on the front of the bus, you do. Do you have to load up all of your stuff? You got your lunchbox, your water bottle, your backpack. Do you need to take all of that off with you? No, if it's an evacuation, it means it's an emergency. You are the most important part. Get you off of the bus. You can get your stuff later. If you cannot get off the front of the bus driver should let you know which way to get off. If the bus driver is unable to, maybe the bus driver got sick, maybe there was an accident, always the oldest people on the bus should be the ones taking the responsibility to help direct the younger. You are in 6th grade now. You are going to be the older kids, so it's your responsibility to say, hey, we need to get off the back. So first you listen to the bus driver if they're able to tell you what to do. Then you listen, it's kind of a trickle down. Older kids have more responsibility than the younger kids. So if you're one of the older kids on your bus, take control, stay calm. Say, okay, we can't get off on the front. We need to get off on the door in the back. Maybe we need to use the roof. Maybe we need to use one of those side windows where it says emergency exit. If the bus was in an accident and it's on its side, you have to figure out the best, safest way to quickly get off of the bus. Maddie?
What if you, what if,
All right, you keep thinking. Last one, Zoe.
do they ever say that you have to go through the back and the front to go like faster?
Possibly. And that would be a time that you would listen to your bus driver on where they want you to exit. Okay, I'm going to stop our recording.